Would you like to learn how to make some fun and easy non-alcoholic cocktails?
Well, today on WTF, we're going to show you a bunch of tricks to make great non-alcoholic cocktails at home. Hello and welcome to WTF, where we transform food here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen. I'm Chef Scott Guerin.
And I'm Janie Wang, one of the owners of Modernist Pantry. And here on WTF, every Tuesday we cover unique ingredients, techniques, and showcase some really fun recipes that you can do in your own kitchen. So remember to subscribe and ring the bell and you'll get notified of our content when it comes out. And today we're going to be focused very much on non-alcoholic cocktails, which has been a growing trend over the recent years for when you want something to drink, you don't want the alcohol, but you still want it to be complex and delicious. So today Scott has 3 recipes that he's going to walk through for you that's going to show you exactly how to do them in your own kitchen. And we're going to, of course, cover some really fun ingredients and tools as well. All right, Scott, do you want to get us started? Where would you like to go?
So, yeah, just a quick kind of overview is sometimes you don't need alcohol, or sometimes you can't drink alcohol, but you want something better than just like a regular soda. So that's kind of why we came up with these things. So the first one we're going to go through is a blueberry spritzer. Then we're going to get into a cider mule type of drink, and then we're going to get into a dessert. So these kind of go along the seasons as it's changing now. And we're going to go from something light and summery to something a little bit heavier and warmer for winter. So we'll go through kind of 3 different seasons and maybe 3 different dishes that you have on a menu. So we'll start off with the blueberry spritzer, and what we have here is just a little bit of blueberry syrup that we made. It's blueberries, sugar, water, and just like a little pinch of espresso powder in there. So I'm going to put that actually into a whipping siphon here, and the reason why I'm going to be putting it into a whipping siphon is I'm going to put all the flavors in here and almost make our own blueberry soda.
Okay.
So then I have these aromatic elixirs, and this is the citrus orchard one. So this has all the flavors of orange, lime, lemon, so really great flavors, and this comes from Alice and the Magician. We sell it, but you only want a few drops, right? This is for aromatics, so I'm going to do 3 drops in there. So when you get it, there isn't a ton of lime juice or lemon juice, orange juice, whatever it is, but you get the aroma of it, so it can change the aroma a lot when you do that. So take this, 2 dashes of a bitters. We like Angostura, so we don't need too bitter, just a little bit. And then I'm going to put on the top, and we're making our own soda effectively, right? So take this off, and we're using CO2. CO2 is carbon dioxide, and this is what makes carbonation. So here.
Okay, and does that require 1 charge or 2?
So the pint chargers require 1 charge, but I'm going to charge it twice. So I'm going to charge it, release the pressure, charge it a second time, because I want that. I want the contents in here to be carbonated. Oh,
okay.
I did forget one thing. So we got to put the water in there. If we don't put the water in there, then we don't have the soda portion of this.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched the Alice and the Magician episode that we did with Aaron, the founder of Alice and the Magician, so the cocktail elixirs, it's a really great way to add aromatics as like an extra layer of sensory experience in cocktails. We're going to put the link to that episode in the description below because Aaron explains it really, really well, much better than I can. So definitely check that out because we love this particular line of stuff that we carry, and it's very, very unique. I believe he's, as far as I know, the only person who kind of small batches them and travels all over the world to collect ingredients and stuff. So I love it.
Yeah. So I'm going to charge it once, and I discard of this, and then I'm going to just release the pressure. Just put this over if you don't have a towel. Go nice and slow, just a little bit there. Yep. I don't want to release it too fast because you don't want to spray it everywhere. So, and then the second one.
You can also check out, like we did, I think, Scott, you wrote an article on our blog about like CO2 versus N2O. Yep. So we'll link to that as well if you're wondering like why you can use one instead of the other one in a whip-in siphon, and when to use one versus the other.
So that's actually pretty easy. CO2 is what you would find in carbonation. So what we're making here is soda. If you were to use N2O, different bubble structure and different flavor profile to that. It would add to the cocktail. N2O always adds a creamier kind of mouth texture because the bubble structure is so fine. And CO2 actually adds a bit of acidity because as it mixes with water, as the carbon dioxide mixes with water, it creates carbonic acid, which gives you that kind of, when you drink a soda, that kind of like burning sensation. Cool. So we have our soda already made here. And I'm just going to put a nice big clear ice cube into my rimmed glass, and I rimmed this just a little bit of brown sugar and butterfat solid. So you take some butter and you start to brown it, then you add some milk powder and you cook it until those get nice and crispy, and you just put those around the rim so you get kind of like a little bit of roasted, almost like a blueberry pie, right? So then I'm going to pour my soda over. Just make sure it's up. Pour my soda over the top.
So pretty.
And then I just have a little bit extra of a elderflower tonic water. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the elderflower tonic water over the top of that just to give a little bit more complexity, right? We're building those flavors so it's not just a basic soda that we're making. And Janie, if you want to try this.
Sure, this looks good. And of course here in Maine it is blueberry season, so we're happy to have it.
So I'm going to put this here.
It is really good. It's super refreshing for right now. It's hot and humid here, so having something really light is really nice. And I love this gigantic ice cube.
Yeah, and we made some really nice, beautiful clear ice for this. So actually
really
for the
nice.
next one, we're going to make a cider mule almost.
Okay.
So I'm going to take some nice clear ice cubes and I'll put them down inside here. You can do all sorts of different ice cubes, and if people really want to know how to make nice, beautiful, clear ice, maybe we could do something on that, or write and ask a chef. But it's very simple and something that's very fun if you're doing a lot of cocktail parties or things like that.
Cool.
So we have some reduced cider here that I'm going to add to my glass.
And you did that yourself or you purchased it?
So you can either purchase it or do it yourself.
Okay.
Reduced cider is not really an easy thing to find, but if you do get some cider, let's say at the orchard, or you buy it at the grocery store, you can just reduce it down until it makes a syrup.
Okay.
It'll make a syrup on its own. You don't have to add any sugar to it. In here, I did make this. This is rosemary, walnuts. It has a little bit of alcohol and just a little bit of vodka and some water to it. So this is almost like a little tincture of rosemary and walnuts, so we get a little bit of that kind of savory flavor from the rosemary and a little bit of bitterness from the walnut skin in there. And then I'm going to add in my ginger beer, right? So I add in my ginger beer. So fill it right up. And then we have one final component that's really going to make this special. And this here is a Shimmer Dust. So this is an edible glitter that's used in cocktails. And if I take just a small amount of this and I put it in, and then you can garnish up with a little bit of crystallized ginger and a nice straw. And as you spin it, it will create a really beautiful effect in the glass.
That is really pretty.
See a really pretty effect, and it's a really nice crowd pleaser. If you give it to a customer or one of your friends, you can really kind of show off to them by just having this really cool, simple effect by adding this Shimmer Dust to it. And it's just an edible glitter, and you only need a little bit, and it makes that really nice kind of swirling effect. Now, Janie, if you want to try that one.
Sure. I like this a lot, but I like I like ginger beer and cider, so it's like two of my favorite things mixed together. But it's super tasty, and this would be great for fall, especially here. We have lots of, like local ciders and stuff. It's amazing.
All right, so we have this kind of cool contraption here, and we're going to talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
But this is a really, really cool cocktail, and it's kind of one that took the internet by storm, and we wanted to do something special with it, so it's not just as simple as it once was. What we have here is Dolgona Foam. So this is a foam that's made of espresso powder, so instant espresso, sugar, and water. But what we did is we added our foam magic to it to make it a little bit more stable. This can last up to a full day after you make it, and you can still make cocktails with it after a full day. Cool. Generally, this starts to break down and separate, but it does that within a few hours. But with the foam magic, it lasts for a full day, which is really nice. So I'm just going to give this a little whip just to kind of bring it back to life.
And Foam Magic, if you haven't come across it before, so it's kind of a Modernist Pantry exclusive foaming agent. It's the only one on the market where you can make foams that will be stable without, adding xanthan. And even if you add xanthan to another type of foam, like Foam Magic will outlast like any other foam that you will ever make.
Yes. So very simple. Right here, I just have a little bit of milk that's been infused with some vanilla bean, and the vanilla bean pods that you, let's say, have extra from making things like creme brulee or anything that you use a vanilla bean for, and you scrape it. Don't throw these away. You can either put these into sugar and make it, or you can make vanilla extract, which we have a recipe for. What we did is we took some of these and we put them into sugar, and we're going to use these as a stirrer for this cocktail.
Okay.
So we took a little bit of vanilla and we put it into this milk with just a tiny bit of salt, and I'm going to pour this right into this glass. You don't need a lot. So we just need a little bit of milk. It's kind of just an infused milk there. And then I have my Dolgona Foam, which I'm going to put over the top.
Ooh, that foam is so pretty.
Yes. And you just kind of let it set in there. And it's very stable because of the Foam Magic. So just let it fall in.
It almost looks like a mousse or an ice cream.
Yes. Get an extra spoon just to help it along here. So I'm going to let that sit on top. I'm going to garnish with this, and it's important to garnish this first because we're going to do something very special here. If you can hand me that lighter, Janie.
Of course.
So we have our coffee flavor, we have our vanilla flavor in there. And I'm going to turn this on. This is a smoking gun. So what this does is kind of gives me a really quick on-demand smoke. So if I want to, even smoke something like chicken or any other food, you can do that. But this is cool because I can smoke cocktails, and you can do this kind of table side or bar side. You just light it, and it'll start filling it with a really thick, dense foam.
Smoke.
Yes. Oh, yes, thick, dense foam. Smoke. It already has foam in it, right? So I'm going to let this sit for just a second.
Ooh.
Let this dissipate a little bit.
Smoky.
And there's a bunch of different wood types that you can have to add different aromas. So applewood, hickory, mesquite, cherry wood. So as I let this sit for just a second, I'm going to lift it up. You do a really beautiful presentation.
Yes, that looks wonderful. Smells great too.
So we do that. Yep, just a nice foam or the nice smoke on the foam. And then, so I have here is a Aromatic Spray. So this is also by Alice and the Magician, and this is a chocolate birthday cake. So we're kind of going along the same flavor profiles that we have here. This kind of dark, roasty kind of flavors. And Janie, if you want to, you can take that vanilla bean pod and just stir it around, and then just sip it, because the Dalgona Foam is very strong. You're using a lot of espresso, instant espresso in there. So yeah, if you just have to sip from the side, sometimes it gives you a little, foam mustache. But
I take mostly just the foam so the milk doesn't kill me. I'm lactose intolerant, but it's still delicious.
And you can absolutely make this with like a vanilla oat milk or anything like that. That absolutely works. So.
It's so good.
The
This
smoke
is
on
really,
the
really
coffee
nice.
works really well.
Oh, it is super good. It's really super tasty. So I think one of the nice things about what we did here today is that it all was super fast, right? Like it wasn't like a ton of prep and then we had to show it to you on camera, but it's like a little bit of prep. It goes a long way. And these are 3 really wonderful drinks to take you through all the way from summer all the way through winter. And as always, you get all the links to the recipes in the description below. And if you do try these recipes, tag us on social media, let us know what you think, leave your comments and questions. So enjoy. And from here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie Wang.
And I'm Scott Garrett.
Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell so you get notified when we drop a new video.
To get today's recipes and all of our recipes, remember to go to blog.modernistpantry.com, where you get recipes, ask a chefs, tips and tricks, and more.
And if you haven't already, tell a friend so they know what's going on here at WTF.
And as always, to get any of the ingredients you saw today, you can go to modernistpantry.com to shop.
And until next time, we'll be here in the test kitchen helping you create memorable and magical experiences.